Hi guys, it's Graham again and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing another book tag and the book tag is the Boujee BookTuber Tag. This was created by a book olive. I will link her channel down below. There are 10 questions and let's dive in. Question number 1. What is your average monthly budget for books? I don't have a budget for books. I will spend a lot, but I don't have a budget. I think if I budgeted myself, it would feel like I was putting myself on some sort of ban. I don't spend that much on books. I spend enough, but I will say, at least it's not drugs. So I don't tend to have a budget, but no. Anyway, question number 2. What's the most you've ever spent in a bookstore? The most I've ever spent in a bookstore was probably the most recent bookstore I've been in, which was Topping and Company in Edinburgh, and that was on the 25th of November this year. My husband and I had travelled through to see a book reading done by Erin Morgenstern for her new book, The Starless Sea. And that was hosted by Topping and Company. I spent about £75 in one go. I was quite horrified with myself. So yeah, I don't think I've ever spent any more than that in one go in one shop. I've probably spent that in one day. In multiple shops, but never in one shop altogether. But the Topping and Company bookshop in Edinburgh was just amazing. I couldn't not. So yeah. Oops. Question number 3. Are you willing to pay full price for a brand new release? Or will you wait until you have a coupon or there's a sale? More so recently, I will probably buy a new release. The more I've gotten into BookTube and Bookstagram, seeing what other people are reading and enjoying at the moment, I've been taking more of an interest in like book prizes. So I've got quite a few of the books that were in the Booker Prize this year, and I have the 2 winners, which were The Testaments by Margaret Atwood and Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. I haven't read either of them, but I will eventually. As for coupons, I don't tend to have book tokens. I think my husband bought me one a couple of years ago for Christmas. It's about to strike 11. We'll let it do that first. £11. As sponsored by Mantle Clock. So yeah, we were on question number 3. New releases. The last time I had a book token or coupon was a couple of years ago. My husband bought me one and I spent it in Waterstones. And I can't remember what I bought. I think there was an Agatha Christie book in there, possibly. And if there's a sale, I will always buy sale books. Also, new releases, sometimes in Tesco, my husband works for Tesco, so I get his staff discount, which is 10%. It adds up. Every little helps. A book that would cost 20 quid in a bookshop will be like £10 in Tesco's, like brand new. And I'm just like, I'm there for that. Absolutely. So yeah, new releases, especially if they're in Tesco. Limited amount though. They don't have everything. But yeah, Tesco's, oh, great. Check it out. Question number 4. Would you rather buy one book or several less expensive used copies? Depends on the book. If there's a new release that I really want, that I've heard lots of good stuff about, I will probably buy that. But definitely I will buy several less expensive used copies. Not of the same book. Unless it's Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. Then I'll have every copy ever published, thanks. So I suppose I would. There's not one that I would rather. I would tend to probably do both of those. Question number 5. What do you think is a reasonable price for a new hardback book? A paperback or an ebook? I don't tend to read ebooks as much as I do paperbacks and hardcovers. Ebooks that I tend to download are about 99p from Kindle. And my husband, he gets ebooks from Apple iTunes, and he also does the audiobooks. He gets from the RNIB. There is an app that he downloads, and he gets audiobooks for free because he's registered as partially sighted. If you are registered as partially sighted, RNIB does a free audiobook service, and you get audiobooks for free. Check it out. I'll link it down below if I can. Hardcovers. I would say a hardcover price. I mean, a book like, say, The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. That was £20 when it first came out. In Tesco's, it's like it's either £10 or £12.50. I mean, that is amazing. I would spend that. I spent the £20 because I bought my copy of The Testaments by Margaret Atwood in Topping and Company in St Andrews, and I paid the full price for it. And I didn't grudge that, even though I've not read The Handmaid's Tale and I haven't yet read The Testaments. I didn't grudge it at all because I will read them, and I'm sure I will love them because I've heard so much good stuff about them. But yeah, paperbacks are what, $7.99, $8.99, £10, or is that a bit much for paperback? If it's a book that I want, I will spend the money on it. I'd probably not want to spend any more than £10 on a paperback, just because paperbacks tend to damage quicker and more easily. So hardback would be the one I would go for, and I wouldn't mind paying full price for it. Now, question number 6. Is a signed book worth more to you? How about a first edition? Signed books, yes. They are worth more to me because most of my signed books that I have met the author and they've personally signed that book for me. So that is a personal thing. And my edition of The Bridge of Clay and The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, he didn't only just sign them and dedicate them to me, he drew pictures in them. And I will treasure those books forever. Also, when we met Erin Morgenstern in Edinburgh on the 25th of November this year, a date that will always stick with me. She was incredible. She signed my books to me. The one, Starless Sea, she signed in gold pen and dedicated it to me. And the Night Circus, she signed in black pen, black Sharpie, and again dedicated it to me. First editions, most of the books that I've bought from Topping and Company and had signed by the authors are first editions, unless they were paperbacks, which only a couple were. So yes, first editions and signed editions are worth more to me because it's a personal thing. You've met that author, you've talked to that author, you've spent time with that person, and that's special. That's something that not a lot of other people can say that they've done. Well, a fair amount of people, but not like lots, not loads. So yeah. Question number 7. What is your most valuable book? Sentimental or actual value? Sentimental. What is my most valuable book? The most valuable book I have is probably my 1912 edition of Dracula. My husband bought it for me last Christmas, or maybe the Christmas before. I think it was last Christmas. And it's just so precious. It's so special to me because it's a 1912 edition. It's the year that Bram Stoker passed away, and it was published shortly after his death, I believe. And it's not only is it worth a lot to me sentimentally, 1912 editions of Dracula are worth an incredible amount of money. Not that I will ever sell it, because it is, I love it. And that's just that. So yeah, my 1912 edition of Dracula is my sentimental and valuable book. Question number 9. What physical characteristics does a good quality book have? What physical characteristics? The dust jacket has got to have a nice design, preferably under the dust jacket as well, a nice design. Like the trilogy by Stephanie Garber, which is the Caraval trilogy. Underneath, I don't know about the US editions, but underneath the UK editions, the dust jacket, there were like gold embossed designs, and they were just absolutely stunning, and they totally played into the story within the books. I love that kind of thing. And also books that have the same design as the dust cover underneath the book, so you can take the dust jacket off to protect it while you're reading the book, and still people can see what you're reading. You're showing off. This is what I'm reading. So yeah, and I don't know, just yeah, a nicely designed dust jacket, and deckled edges. I like those. That's the sign of a nice book. Question number 10. If you won the lottery, what bookish things would you do with the money? I would buy a first edition of Alice in Wonderland, a first edition of Through the Looking Glass, a first edition of Dracula. I would renovate the attic and make it into a library, because our attic is huge. It's an L-shaped room, so it's like as big as the house. I think that would make an amazing attic, apart from the roof, which is like slanted, so we'd have to sort of do bookshelves in the eaves, but I think that'd be lovely. So yeah, I would renovate my attic and turn that into a library, and I would buy first editions of my favourite books: Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, and Dracula by Bram Stoker. So that's what I would do if I won the lottery. I would spend it all on books and bookish lovely things. And there is a bonus question, which I didn't notice. Give us an image, actual or mental, of your dream home library. So my attic, renovated as a library. Failing that, there are 2 booktubers whose library bookshelves type things I just absolutely die for. Simon over at Savage Reads, his library is just stunning, absolutely glorious, and he's recently got extensions on top of his Billy bookcases, and it's like floor to ceiling books, and I just love it. I just think it's amazing, and jealousy isn't the right word, but that's how I feel. And Jen Campbell's library, her almost floor to ceiling books as well, and where she films her videos, she has like sort of square bookshelves where her desk is, and I just think that is just glorious. I love it. So yes, yeah, those are the libraries I would have. An amalgamation of the two. in my attic. Perfect. So that was the Boujee BookTuber tag. Thank you for watching. Whatever you're doing, I hope you have so much fun doing it. Whatever you're reading, I hope you love it. Stay fabulous, be amazing, be yourself, and I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye-bye.